Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the District to be held at 105 Port Road, Port Isabel, Texas, on the 27th day of July, 2016, at the hour of 6 p.m. for the consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice has been posted at the office of the District on July 21st, 2016, at 1:50 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Opens Meeting Act, and a copy has been furnished to the County Clerk in Cameron County, Texas. This meeting is called to order. There is a quorum, minus one board member, Rick Wells, who is not here, not in attendance. Item 2 is, would everybody rise for the invocation and the pledge, please?
Lord, please guide our hearts as we make our decisions tonight. We seek you first in all we do together. We give you our business, our customers, and our workforce. May we always be mindful of their service. Our trust is in you completely. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If the board so chooses, can we move skip a couple items and jump into item number 7, which is administering the oath of office for the newly appointed Board of Director, Mr. Doyle Wells III.
So move.
Let's do it. Okay, very good. I don't think we need a motion. We just do it. We're going to jump to item 7.
Well, made the motion.
All right. You ready? Welcome, Mr. Judge Benny Ochoa. Yes. He will be swearing in our...
Those that don't know me, in case you get a citation, now you know what to do.
Our friendly judge.
This time, if I get up today, Mr. Well, I know he's gonna be a great member of the director, because he's a third like me, so you can have no problem with the third. Right? The second, we're gonna be plenty of water, because we're gonna have 2 wells now. We're gonna have to worry about
The twins.
I know the board now is working together with harmony, and I served 2 years as chairman of the board, and it was a really good. But you haven't chosen a good man that he did well with the argument and stuff like that. And I know he cares not for the island. He cares for another man. And he will be a good member. And he's a person where you can talk. You see that something as long as the department or anything, he will listen and he will make time. So, well, will you raise your right hand and repeat after me? In the name by the authority of State Texas, I, the third, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the Guatemala Board District. This is number what, please? Director.
That's him. He's a sure.
The Guatemala Water District Board of Directors.
The vacant place.
Vacancy, seat number what?
State of Texas.
He's fine with that.
And will invest of my ability to serve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the law of the United States of this state. So help me God. Of the authority vested in me as the friendly judge and certified director of the Guatemala Water District. Congratulations.
Thank you for this opportunity, and I really thank the vote of confidence for other directors. Evil.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Wells.
Evil.
Welcome, welcome.
And my fee is to have 3 months of water from my house at no charge.
Nini?
Not in shape.
Double the charge.
Bad audio, bad audio. Yeah, no,
Good, good. I didn't even think about that. Water wells.
Welcome aboard.
Well, you're right here, man, between two curmudgeons.
Welcome to the funny.
All right, let's jump back to item number 3, is invitation to the audience for discussion. Oh, no, wait till Benny finishes.
Oh, got the low one.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Judge.
Judge. Thank you for your time and your honor to the community.
Mr. Water rate.
Yes, sir.
Preaching to the choir.
Item 4, consider and approve the minutes for the regular meeting of July 13, 2016.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Thomas,
Motion approved.
second by Mr. Friedman. All those, any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, abstain for Doyle, okay. Item 5, General Manager's Report, Mr. Galvan.
I just put a committee list right in front of you because I got Mr. Doyle Wells in the position that, it's actually position number 5, where Martin Cantu Jr. was at. I just replaced it with his name.
Okay.
You're already on committees, Doyle. Welcome.
You're on the budget committee. We're gonna be meeting here pretty soon. All right. Anything
That's all I
else?
have. That's it.
All right, any questions, comments for the General Manager? Item 6, District Engineers Report, Mr. Ortiz.
Alright. Okay, the first time I have is just an update on the Gulf Boulevard waterline rehab project. That project is complete, where we've installed the 8-inch water line from Gardenia down to Haas. We had the certificate of completion July 15th, is our substantial completion. And then later, an action item is a change order number 1, which is basically some additional fire hydrants, which the city of South Padre Island will be reimbursing. So pretty much the job got completed at the original contract price. And so, I don't know if you have any questions on Gulf Boulevard. All right, so I guess the next one we can move on to is just an update on our bond money and our capital projects, basically. And so, I mean, as far as, you know, this is kind of a recap. The first group here is our 2012 bond, where we still have a balance is on our water distribution pipeline, so $688,000. And so that's going to basically cover our Port Isabel waterline project, which is actually out for bid right now. So we'll be bringing those bids here at one of the September meetings for consideration and award. And that'll pretty much finish up, you know, the remaining balance on that project. And then, of course, the next one is the wastewater effluent reuse system, where we have a balance of, you know, $3 million that's not committed. So that'll cover, you know, between construction management and construction, you know,
Speak
dollars.
up.
Oh,
Speak up.
okay, I'll speak up. Well, I was just going through the 2012 bond. So, of course, the only 2 projects left are water distribution and the sewer plant. And then the next one is the Series 2016 money, and that's going to cover our pipeline extension, and then the sludge holding tanks. It'll all kind of, you know, combine to cover everything. And then for water SPC, pretty much the only balance remaining is the Layout Street water line, which is part of the Port Isabel board packet, and that'll pretty much finish out our SDC funds that we have in the bank for water. And moving on to the sewer SDC, the wastewater rehab plants, like the anti-buoy blowers, we're just going to be able to budget air piping repairs at this point. And for Isla Blanca, you know, we have that balance of $274, and that should cover the new blower with high speed and the blower repairs, installing the gates, and that plan said I'm going to be advertising in mid-August, so I'll be presenting that here in September as well, so we can get construction started.
That's the one that needs it first?
Yeah, at Isla we'll get more bang for our buck, getting the blower in there.
Okay, good.
And so, you know, that'll be the first one we can cover with our current funds. And so the other part of it is, there's the bond counsel and financial assistance for closing on the loan. I have to reserve money that can't be bond money, so that's part of the sewer SDC. And I guess flipping to the next page, it's our water infrastructure and sewer infrastructure accounts. And it's just basically kind of a status of where we're at. I mean, a lot of the stuff is just really planned for, I mean, there's clear well pumps, which is an action item for today, and just finishing out some of the programming for the microfiltration changes that we did, and that's about all that's pending on the water infrastructure. And sewer infrastructure, it's the the chlorine feeders that are part of what we need to address from TCP for all 4 plants, and that's basically, you know, what's covered in the report. And the last item that we have on the list is the actual $5.8 million loan that we'll get from the Water Development Board. And we actually set up our schedule and submitted the draft bond ordinance. So we're looking at closing October 6th with the Water Development Board.
Good deal.
So we can proceed with construction on the sewer project.
Okay.
And that wraps up the report.
All right, any questions or comments on the capital projects for Mr. Ortiz? Let's move on to item 8. Consider and remove from the table the following item tabled on the board meeting of July 13th, 2016, which is consider and approval to instruct legal counsel to prepare and file both water and sewer CCN applications for the Laguna Madre Water District. Get a motion to remove it from the table, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Friedman.
Second.
Second by Mr. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9 is consider and approve to instruct legal counsel to prepare and file both water and sewer CCN applications for the Laguna Madre Water District. Mr. Lucio, I believe we would need, some of the board members wanted some, just an explanation of what is going on, why we need this, and so forth.
What a CCN is basically a exclusive right to operate in certain jurisdictions. And although now it may not seem possible for another provider to come in and start providing water service in your area, there's nothing stopping someone from doing that. So most times when someone's going to invest a bunch of infrastructure, let's say it's a water supply corporation or a MUD or a city, they want to make sure that they protect that investment. So the state has allowed for exclusive monopoly jurisdiction so that you don't lose your ability to recoup your expenses for investing in infrastructure. So that's what this is. So I don't think that having the CCN gives us any more footing in terms of accessing funds or doing stuff like that, but who knows what the future will hold. We're investing a lot of taxpayer money in infrastructure in this area, and if some private provider all of a sudden were to come in and maybe do a seawater desal plant when that technology becomes more affordable, or do something else, all of a sudden they can start selling to our customers. Our customers are not mandated to buy water from us, if they can buy it from another source, and we can't keep them from competing.
Okay.
Yes.
My question is pertaining to, I guess, property up north. I guess if we have water line extended, does that protect us as far as our extension, even though it's unannexed property into the water district, or could another MUD be created in the north end? Another MUD could still be created in the unannexed territories.
So, for example, let's just say there's an outlying area that is ag land now, and someone says, you know what, I'm going to do a golf course resort community, and they come to you and you're like, well, you're the closest provider, but we're going to charge you impact fees to get the infrastructure from where it is now to you. And they do the calculations and they're like, man, it's cheaper for us to
Buy
just
water.
build our own plant and dig our own well, or buy from another irrigation district who'll get us here sooner. All of a sudden they can do that, file a CCN for that area, or this whole area for that matter, really. I mean, someone, if they so choose now, they would have to be approved by the PUC, but they could file, someone else could file for a CCN on the island.
All right, so the CCN we're going to apply for is going to cover all the territory that was previously discussed when we did I believe we did something with PUB and with East Rio Hondo to see which districts would be more suitable for
Yeah.
providing water for that area.
Yeah, there's an unserved area study that we can reference. And I would think it would be smart for the CCN to go beyond our current district boundary to cover what may potentially.
That's
be
where I was
planned.
trying to go.
Right. I mean, it should cover the island completely, I would assume. Mr. Wells, you have a question?
From my understanding, clarification, it's a little bit like the deregulation of the electrical companies, and you had different providers and they deregulated it, but you have a line charge. Essentially, you have to pay a fee to use the transmission of electricity, in this case, water. So you gave the example of somebody wanted to put a mud up north, and you said somebody could furnish water to anybody they wanted to in the district. If they tied into the district's existing service, they would have to pay a fee for the transmission or use of those facilities, correct?
If they need us to give water to their treatment plant, they could always tie in and put a line to another irrigation district's plant. So we get our water wells, and then we get it directly. Do we have a line in?
We get it from the river. We get it from the river.
Okay, so we have a stronger river. Most water providers, municipal water providers in the valley do not have a straw in the river. They get their water from irrigation districts. In the 60s, there was this big adjudication. Water rights were distributed amongst irrigation districts, municipal users, and some other users. But most municipal suppliers get their water from irrigation districts. So let's say it's on the north end of our service territory, some irrigation district in Brownsville, Los Fresnos, or Bayview, has canals that go all the way to the river to get water. They can tie into their distribution system and bypass us entirely. Now, we may be 20, 30, 40, 50 years away from that happening, but it is a realistic scenario. It can happen.
But they have to put in their own service.
Right, they have to put in their own plant.
Infrastructure.
Right.
But
Like Entredeco did.
If they wanted to tie in and use any of the infrastructure of the district now, I guess the bottom line is, contrary to popular thought, is the district, Laguna Madre Water District, does not have a monopoly on it.
No, we don't.
So that's what we're discussing here tonight, is to protect for any future growth and need that might come in.
So if we had a CCN that would encompass outside of our boundary or outside the Laguna Madre area, that means no other company can come in, or no other irrigation district can be formed, or no other mud can be formed without our approval? Is that how a CCN works?
Correct.
Okay.
Unless someone applies for service and you cannot provide
And
it
we
to
cannot
them,
provide
then
it
they
for
can
them.
petition to be certified.
Okay.
Another quick question, is this a little bit like, does this have potential of being a dispute that often municipalities have, to where PUB decided they want to expand, and so we're talking about a broader area of protection for this district?
I would think we would want to move our CCN
More.
to butt up to their CCN.
Otherwise they're going to encroach
And then
towards us.
does East Rio Hondo have a CCN?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So let's run ours up to
You
the
want to
edge
be
of theirs.
you want to be adjoining the
And
other.
then-
Well, we had a settlement with.
We want to go expand as far as we can now. Pardon, Charles?
Yeah, in 1998, we reached a settlement agreement with East Rio Hondo, because East Rio Hondo, they were actually, a CCN application went to the Old Town site, and we pushed it back to Buena Vista Road.
Okay.
And that's how we lost that section on to Ted
How
Hunt.
far north does it go on the island?
The line.
Well,
Like,
East Rio Hondo's
to-
CCN?
No, sir, for the Laguna Madre.
Oh, well, wherever we want to set our CCN boundary, I mean, we can set it
Set it
in this
now, so
application.
That's where I was trying to go with this, is to
Right.
protect our investment on the north end of the line that we
It's
installed.
not county restricted, is it? So,
Well, let's set ours as far as we can go up north to the cut. I mean, to Mansfield cut, no?
Well, I was trying to protect our investment on the line, most importantly.
My humble opinion, the only reason we don't have a CCN now is because we're kind of unique, right? We're on the border and we got the Gulf. So it's not like we have someone to our east or south, trying to encroach upon us.
Not
And then
surrounded.
we've kind of been, there's that buffer between us and Brownsville where they don't have a lot of infrastructure that they were competing with us, right? So that's probably the only reason we don't have a CCN now. We had this deal where East Rio Honda was growing a little bit. The reason we settled with them is because we probably contested their application in '98 when they were trying to add land that affected us. So we could, we have two paths moving forward. Number one, we could rely that, hey, maybe no one's going to grow that much over here. Or we could just say, look, we're going to secure our infrastructure, we're not going to have Brownsville PUB, and the interesting thing is really the only area Brownsville PUB has to grow is towards us. Because all to their north and east and west is already, that CCN is already established with their water supply corporations.
Now's not the time to be complacent. As an example, I mean, the comfortable position that the city of South Padre Island held at one time, because they had the Laguna Madre separate them, they had the Gulf of Mexico and all, but that became a real...
Yeah, we don't need to annex.
Yeah. That became a real challenge because the assumption was, well, nobody's going to bother us. So I think there's an agreement here now. Let's open the envelope as far as we possibly can to settle all these challenges in the future.
You got it.
And then we can negotiate, whoever's here can negotiate at the time if somebody comes in and discuss it. But at least we've got our hand in the door first.
You control your own destiny.
And now as far as the CCN along Highway 48, is there a desire to go
As far as we can.
Sub-area study?
As far as we can.
Okay.
Let's go as far as we
Because we
can.
did reach an agreement in the unserved area study where to change.
Something's gonna happen to that navigation problem.
Well,
Yeah,
we did
go to the little bridge.
Navigation district.
I'll go as far as we can till it runs into the Brownsville PUB CC.
Yeah, well, there's like, I think the fishing bridge, I'll show Eddie the study.
Okay, y'all work on it, y'all come back to us when we're gonna apply, correct? Y'all
Yes.
come back for approval when we're
We'll
gonna
have
apply?
For boundaries, for
application.
boundaries.
For boundaries?
Right.
So this,
Okay.
one final question.
Yes,
Does
sir.
this,
Cost.
sorry, does this complicate a situation, for example, in the future, that we're reaching out strong now, then somebody comes in at one of these far-reaching areas and say, hey, I want water? Does that put us in a situation that is going to stress our
We're not
capacity?
monetarily liable. The only thing we could be subject to is that they can be certified, which is no really skin off our back, unless we have for example, we don't have to buy them out and say, okay, well, we can't service you, so here's $100,000 so you can tie into Brownsville. Really, their only recourse is to decertify, and all we lose is
That area.
If
We
the
don't lose
district-
money.
If the district decides not to provide service to that outlying area.
But they gotta come to us first, and so we're not obligated financially, or we're not obligated to give them water if we think it's not in the best interest of this district.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Is that an action item?
Yes, it's an action item. Can we get a motion, please?
I motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Freeman,
Second.
second by Mr. Wells. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, consider and approve the emergency ratification of the administrative fee for the Real Estate Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for the Port Isabel Wastewater Treatment Plant Outfall Extension Real Estate Intake Number REIN 16-0014. Gentlemen, we discussed this last week.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Thomas,
I second.
second by...
Under duress.
Second by Mr. Friedman. Any questions or comments? We have under duress. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11, consider and approve the interlocal agreement with the City of South Padre Island for Laguna Madre Water District to perform cleaning of its storm drains. Any questions or, I'm sorry, did we get a motion, please?
Move.
Motion by Mr. Thomas.
I am.
Second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Wells. Questions, comments?
I have a question.
It's an annual renewal?
Yes.
Go over there and we clean their storm drains for them. And we got a deal, they say we're making money doing it.
No, I don't have any question against that. I guess it's number 11, and we'll get to that.
I believe it was up to $15,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 15,000 this year.
Well, my question will apply to this, and then I'll ask some of the next agenda item. it's kind of open-ended, there's not a number, is it just one storm drain, is it all of the storm drains? Is
No,
there-
they pick out certain ones that they have trouble with every year, and we just go out. What we do is we charge $350 an hour for the service. So out of the 15,000, it ends up being about 42 hours of our work. So our guys go out there and we tell them, okay, we give you 42 hours, and that's all we do. And wherever we stop, that's where we stop.
I got that part. My question is, can they take with this interlocal agreement, ask for more storm drain cleaning that would incur more expense on the district's part, but still be held at the 15,000 cap?
No, they just, usually the ones they have, there's certain ones that they have trouble with every year, and it's around this time of year. So we usually just do the same, about 8 areas that they do, 8 storm drains that they do every year. I mean, it takes them the whole day just to.
I get that. My question is this an open-ended, or is this a closed-ended contract as far as the districts involved?
Yeah,
where the SPI could come in and say, clean all of our drains, or drains, and for 15,000. Will that take and incur any other additional cost to the district that we might be shortchanged in this interlocal agreement today?
No.
It's a cap of $15,000.
It's a cap of $15,000.
One cell.
Worst case scenario.
If they need more service, they pay for more service. Is that what you're going to question?
Yeah, but it
Yes.
covers all the storm drains. My question is this going to take and cover all the drains if they so chosen this to get it done?
It's by an hourly
Well,
basis.
We actually, we work hand in hand, and they're with us when the crews go. They're right there, they get a report, and they say, okay, the next worst one that we have is that one, and they keep going until the work is completed, and it doesn't have.
Mr. Thomas, comment?
Aren't we locked in on a hourly cap?
Yes.
If they want to go over that hourly cap, they have to reimburse us above that cap, is that
Or
correct?
we have to go into another interlocal agreement.
Yeah,
That's what
we'll have to do another
That's
one.
what I was to understand on this deal.
Yeah.
Am I
We'll
right
have
or
to
wrong?
come back and request more.
We would have to do another interlocal agreement for that. We only do the 15,000, and that's it.
So when they run up a bill of 15,000, this agreement's done, and they say, okay, we need to take the contract for more work.
Yep.
Correct.
You agree?
I get it. Thank you.
Correct.
All right, very good. Any more questions or comments? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12, consider and approve rejection of bids for transfer pump station building at water plant number 2. Get a motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Freeman.
I'll second it, but I'm confused about that.
Second by Mr. Thomas. All right, now let's go with questions and comments. Oh, how about an explanation from Charles?
Give us a splainer. I want a splainer man on this
Well,
one.
this is the building for the microfiltration feed pumps, because they're built with WP1 enclosures, which are meant for indoor condition, not outdoor. And so, basically, we kind of try to rush through a set of plans, but the line between needing an engineer, like, sign a sealed set, is 20,000, and so we were thinking the estimate was going to be just under that. So with the cost involved with getting this building done, it needs to go through a structural engineer, and since we can go ahead and take care of the windstorm certification, to comply with our insurance as well. And so that's the main reason for rejecting the bids. And we're also going to be doing metal rather than masonry, because it'll be a lot cheaper to build. So that's why we're recommending to reject these bids.
And then once that's done, we'll be able to get windstorm certified.
Yes, yeah, that's a
on the building.
separate request.
Okay.
This is a motion to reject.
Yes.
Okay, so we had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13 is consider and approve the professional engineering services with L&V for transfer pump station building at water plant number 2. Motion, please. This is on the building we just rejected the bids, yes.
Correct. My motion.
Motion by Mr. Freeman.
I'll second, so we discuss.
Okay. All right, second by Mr. Wells. All right, questions, comments? This is for that building that we need to re-advertise for, correct?
So that's what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah. If we don't have, if we don't have it engineered properly, we can't get windstorm
Well, we got
certification.
it, right.
We'll bring the bids, after they're done and completed, back to the board, so approve. And we approve later if you all decide to.
Actually, we're approving services.
We're approving services with L&D.
$7,500,
Get it right this time.
hopefully.
75. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 14 is consider and approve the purchase of water plant number 1 clear well from Odessa Pumps through buy board water and wastewater pumps and motors bids.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Friedman,
Second.
second by Mr. Thomas. Questions or comments?
Yep.
Mr. Thomas?
What does this "if motor is needed" mean?
On the clear well at
Like,
water
are
plant
we
one?
gonna have a horse turning the thing? What?
Squirrels.
Squirrels, yeah. Gerbils.
Okay, yeah, because if it turns out the motor's good, we're gonna salvage the existing motor. But if it turns out we gotta replace it, it's included on the.
Run some amperage off that old motor and just see if it's not maxing out. And I know it's a lot of money for a new motor, but,
So you're saying it's needed?
well, these old motors, they're still running yet. And then you put hard start capacitors on them to get them
Paying the
going.
electricity.
And they eat enough electricity to just,
Chewing up the
That's
electricity.
what mine is
Yeah.
right now, hard start capacitors.
Usually,
yeah, by the time the year's up, you paid for the new motor.
Yeah.
and they're more efficient.
That's where my problem is. I want to see amperage run on some of this stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I tried to get Swanee to break out the light bills for the pumps and the lift station motors. And we can't break them, there's no point in breaking them out for the plant, because they're all grouped together. But what that would do, Victor can sit down there and look at what electricity costs for lift station number 19 and realize that it's been spiking. At the same time, occupancy, hotel occupancy has gone down or remained the same. We know we got a problem there. We know we got a pump that's not working efficiently. And when we're talking about an $800,000 light bill, you know, that's, well, not a lot of money, but it's serious money. And that's all I got to say about that. You know, I mean, like putting used tires on an old car, new car.
New car.
Anyway, that's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thomas. Good insight. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 15 is consider and approve change order number 1, final, with the 5125 company for the Gulf Boulevard Water Line Rehab Project.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Thomas,
Second.
second by Mr. Freeman. Questions, comments?
I have a question. Point of clarification, could somebody explain to me what attachment A is telling me? Is it telling me that we're deducting, we have 10 existing fire hydrants from the 11 requested, so there's a $10,000 reduction?
What happened is, in the original bid tabulation, we were gonna reconnect 10 existing fire hydrants that were already in place. And then when it came time to reconnect them, those hydrants were falling apart. So we went ahead and just added them as entirely new hydrants rather than try to reconnect them to the new water line. So that 11 is part of the 10 new hydrants rather than reconnect the existing. And then from the original quantities, we had 1 extra fire hydrant that got installed. So that's where we came up with 11. And the 10 for existing reconnections was a deduct because that 10 of the 11 that got added is replacing that item.
So you're able to save $1,000
Well, the increase was
per unit, per hydrant?
yeah, like reconnecting the existing hydrant's 1,000 and an entirely new hydrant was 4,000. So that's where the difference is at.
And the
And the
44,000.
city is reimbursing that.
Yes,
The
yeah,
city of
yeah.
South, the town of South Padre Island reimbursing for the 44
Right,
for the new fire hydrants.
Correct. The floor
They're not on
reimbursement for the
fire
island is
suppression,
about
right?
129,000, or no, 119,000.
119, is it, okay, all right, good,
Thank you for explaining.
very good. We have a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 16, consider and approve amendment number 2 for professional engineering services for the Port Isabel water line and valve rehabilitation. Get a motion, please?
I'll motion.
Motion by Mr. Friedman,
Second.
second by Mr. Thomas. Questions or comments? Charles, you got anything for us on that?
No, this is just completing that loop at the event center, by the event center at the dead-end line, so this additional work, we'll loop it down to Garcia Street.
Lupe de Garcia, okay,
It was
This
just
is all engineering expense.
correct.
Mhm.
Mr. Thomas?
This
Question?
this is the line we've got to move over in the street that's now under the houses. I'm correct on that one?
No,
right?
no.
On the
That's the
project,
other side.
Port Isabel 8-inch?
No, we've already approved that in amendment number 1. Amendment number 2 is at the event center,
Okay.
I think Tarnava, where it's a dead end. We're gonna extend it and loop it down to Garcia Street.
Good.
Okay.
Keep looping them. All right, any other further questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 17 is consider and approve the renewal for the medical health care insurance with service provider United fiscal year 2016-2017.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we'd like to present this to the board as a renewal of our existing insurance, health plan that we have. And this will save us money instead of going out for bids. I have Albert Salinas, a representative, if you want to come and mention the benefits, and because he can explain better. But we see that if we do renew, we'll save some revenue there.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Albert Salinas. I'm with Texas Insurance Service Center, and with me I have Connie Hernandez. She's a representative from United Healthcare. And first off, we did have an initial renewal that came in. You know, your plan comes up October the 1st of 2016. The initial renewal did come in at approximately 9%. Through negotiations with United Healthcare and Laguna Madre Water District, they went ahead and reduced that amount to about a 4.5% increase over current. I mean, existing benefits remain the exact same. You guys are on one of the top level plans that we have out there. And, you know, if you have any specific questions regarding it, we'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
The only thing that I wanted to mention is that I know that if we go out for bids, it'll
Yes, sir,
not be the same.
the rate does, you know, come off the table. You know, in the event the district decides to go out for bid, the company would have the right to go back and review those renewals. We do have a couple of large ongoing claims right now, without getting into any HIPAA information, but I think Connie can go a little bit further in there if you wish to.
There are 3 large ongoing claims, so if you did go out to bid, that rate
Rate will affect your
change
rates.
and of course go up.
It's on a 22 grand increase.
Well, that's an assumption. You're telling us that, if I understand correctly, that for a renewal, you're able to reduce what you claim is a 9% increase down to a 4% increase.
Yes, sir.
That's what you're telling us, without us knowing that, other than your in-house.
No, the renewal has already been presented to administration of that 4.5.
Okay, of the district.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have already reviewed this, you looked at it.
Yes.
So the only thing we don't know sitting here tonight, what competitive bid could be out there.
Yes, sir.
So we're rolling the dice with the same provider, which, you know, I have no question of service. It's just, what is the best price for the district? You know, my limited knowledge of healthcare, you're really rolling the dice today when you're going out and
For bids.
seeking
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
We,
and I
agree.
can tell you personally, my insurance
I-
has gone.
I agree.
I would settle for a 4% increase.
So we have a bird in the hand.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
We have experienced that before, so.
yes.
You know, we do have right now on a medical trend, you know, on most groups, we're looking on the medical side of approximately 8%, and on the pharmacy side, about 15%. Combine the two, I mean, I think the 4.5% is just about your demographic factor, you know, just from the age, going from one year to another. But, you know, those are the options.
Younger people.
No, we need to change the way we age.
Without
Chairman.
going into it, existing claims really
I
affect
understand
when
that
you go
too.
shop the market,
Yeah,
because they
I-
look at
I-
that.
Mr.
into-
You
Chairman.
got baggage going in when you're bidding.
Correct.
Here, motion to approve.
Very good.
Second.
Well, all right, motion to approve, second by Mr. Freeman. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Questions or comments, done? All those in
Aye.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 18, consider and approve the investment report for the third quarter of fiscal year 2016. As you can see, gentlemen, we made a lot of money on our investments.
Yeah, right.
Not 4%.
Not 4%, no, more like 1/4%.
Tell me about it.
Everyone else gets to make 4%.
All right, we have a motion,
I
please?
wanna look at it.
Need a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
All right, motion by Mr. Freeman,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Thomas. Any questions or comments on our investment report? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Right.
Opposed? Motion carries. And item 19 is consider and approve the disbursements.
I have no questions on disbursements, I'm motion to approve.
All right, motion to approve. Is there a second, gentlemen?
Second.
Second by Mr. Thomas. Any questions or comments on the disbursements, on the bills? I don't have any either this time. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Be it that there's no further business of the agenda below, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.